Hey y'all, here's a follow-up lesson on Paint It Black. We're going to talk about how to improvise over the 2-chord E minor to B7 progression within the harmonic minor scale. So we're going to have 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 5, but then we have 4, 5, and then we have 2, 3, 5. So that was 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 5, 4, 5, 2, 3, 5. Now we could look at that another way too. We could go 5, 3, 2 and open. We could use the open on that bottom string. And we could use the 4 here. We could use the 1 here and the open here. We could use the 2 here and open. And the 4 and 2. Then we have the extra note. We could do the 1 over here. Back to that 2. Now that 2 right there, that's your E. So that's your root note. Also, E is down here, the small string. Or it could be this 5th fret of the 2nd string. But that is going to be the root note for the first chord. Now think about where a B note is. So a B is the B string, right? Or it's also the 4th fret of the G string. So if you wanted to follow the chords around, one of the first things we do when we're trying to follow a chord progression around is see where those root notes are. So I'm going to get the chord progression going. I'll show you a little bit of how to follow kind of the E and the B. But we also have a lot of other notes for each chord that we can add to make it more exciting. That's your E minor. That's your B7. So if I go, see how that matches that first chord? And there's a B. Now that one below the E, the D sharp, that one matches, see, it's part of that B7 chord. Now another thing you might not know is the thirds thing. So the thirds thing is if this E, I'm going to wait till that E comes back around, but that E note right there. So the note that's not the next one, but the one after that, that would be the third. This would be like 1, 2, and 3. That is going to be another chord tone. So that's going to be another good note, almost just as good as E, just with a different flavor, but it definitely belongs in the chord. So it'll sound really good at that time. Now when we get to that B7, so let's see, here's the E. Now if we do that here, so its third also sounds really good. So the 1 and the 4 sound really good when that B7. Now these two, they sound better over that E minor because those are in that chord. So chord tones is what we're trying to get into to get real accurate to play the notes that sound best over certain chord changes. But we do have our basic scale, and we can just kind of noodle around with the basic scale and it's all going to sound really good. But when you're ready to, you can take it to that next level and drop certain notes at a certain time to make it really pop out with the chord that's going on. So that 4 is part of that 1 and 4 little combo. See how that sounds with that? So if we come down here, so that 4 is another special note. See, that's the octave of that lower 1. So that one really sounds good on that B7. And this was our B, remember? So, you know, we're starting to, we have a full scale we can play around with. Everything's going to sound pretty good. But if we can kind of figure out and remember the special notes here and there and listen to the chords, try to keep track of what chords we're on, that's the E minor. Now that B7 has more of a bluesy sound to it. So that could help you keep track of keep them separated. One is like a straight minor, just a minor chord. Now this one sounds like a bluesy chord. So that could help you kind of keep the two separated, you know. So I'm going to solo a little bit in this kind of first position, and I'm going to use some open strings, but I'm also going to use like the fretted notes that we were also doing. So now that's another example. That was an E, and that 3 was its third. So that's why those two sounded good right there. That would be that third of that 4 right there. So we're getting into the next position a little bit. We're going to talk about all these positions up the neck. But I'm going to keep working on this one a little bit more to show you some more stuff, and then I'm going to stop talking and stop playing and let you jam along. So. Okay. Then you also got these little pull-off things you can do that are fun. We also have this one over here. So when we're on the E chord, you can do the pull-offs to the E note. And when you're on the B chord, you can do pull-offs on that B string. Now here goes the next position. We could go 4, 5, and 7 on that biggest string. And then we can go 4 and 5. And then on the next one we go 4, 5, 7. And on the next one we go 3, 5, 7. So 4, 5, 7, and then just 4, 5. And then 4, 5, 7 again. And then 3, 5, 7. And if we can remember, now we had that E and we had its third, which is the 5th fret. So this would be a good note in this position to play over the E minor chord when it happens. But then that 4 and its third, which would be the 7, those are going to be good over that B7 chord. So we're going to do a little bit more, and then I'm going to show you how that goes. That 4 was part of that B7. There's your E, so that's a good one to start with there. We got the 3, 5, 7. Okay, so you guys see what's happening there. Now I'm gonna stop saying too much and let's have you guys jam over this. Here we go. E minor, play anything from those two positions you want. There goes the B7, E minor, B7. Like I say, any of those notes that I showed you, they're all going to sound cool over both chords, but some sound especially cool over the chord that they are actually a part of. Oop, missed one. Now that 2 right there, that's another good note for the B7. See how that's in that chord? So that'd be another one where you could look at like its third would be that 5th fret right there. Right? And then these two. Now since this G was the third of the E, well its next third would be that B right there. Now that B is going to sound good over the B7 of course, because that is the note from that. Okay, you guys keep jamming. So let's remember we got 5, 3, 2, 0, 4, 1, 0, 2, 0, 4, 2, and a 1. See how it didn't really sound good at the one spot, but it sounded really good at the next spot. So I could be playing all these notes and not really keep track of the math of which chord I'm on or whatever, and they'll still sound good. you get used to hitting the notes that sound really good, your ear takes you there, you know. Okay, here goes the next position. We're gonna have the 7th fret, 7, 9, and 10. And then we're gonna have 8 and 9. So 7, 9, 10, 8, 9. And then we're gonna have 7, 8, 10. Then we're gonna have 7, 8, 11, and 12. So one more time, we got 7, 9, and 10. And then we got 8 and 9. And then we got 7, 8, and 10. And then we got 7, 8, 11, and 12. Okay, so let's try to work out in that new position a little bit. So that little half step, dude, that's the one that's in that B7. See how it sounds way better in there than it did at the other spot? So that's another one where you go to the 3rd of that special note for the B7. And up here we could go like 12, 14, 15. And that 11 is special for that B7. Okay, so you guys give that a jam. Here comes your E minor and B7. Let's review that one more time again here. So we want to start down here. We had like 5, 3, 2, open, 4, 1, open, 2, open, 4, and 2. We can add that little 1 there. That's especially good, like I say, when we're on that B7 chord. As you see, it's part of that. So then we had the next position. We had 5. We had we had 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 4, 5, 7, and then we had 3, 5, 7. Then the next one we had 7, 9, and 10, and then we had 8 and 9. Then we had 7, 8, 10, and then we had 7, 8, 11, 12. You could also add a few more to that if you wanted. 12, 14, and 15. All right, hope you all enjoyed that. More coming up. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and let us know if you have any requests. And I'm Damon Wood. Thanks a lot. We'll see you soon.